It's 5 o'clock, so we'll open the Rules and Legislative Committee. All the members are present and accounted for, and now we'll have prayer. Let us pray. Our Father, who art the hope of all the earth, remember us in love and guide us by thine wisdom. We ask thee to grant blessings upon thy servants, our community leaders, our county mayor and commissioners, our city mayor and councilmen. Bless us with wisdom, goodness, and truth. May law and order, justice, and peace prevail. Defend our liberties, preserve our unity, protect our county, to the honor of thy holy name. Amen. First item is approval of the April 16th, 2024 Rules and Legislative Committee minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Public comment period. Now, I know we got some candidates that are going to run for the open seat in the 7th district, so I think I have everyone. If I haven't, then we'll certainly recognize someone else that's not. I think we've got 3 candidates that I'm aware of. There may be others. We'll make sure we get to that under new business. Any others wish to speak? And then we'll go on to the recommendations. The second one is consideration of placing the May 14th, 2024 Commission minutes on the June 11th, 2024 County Commission agenda.
Make a motion, we place those on the agenda without a recommendation.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The next item is consideration of placing the notary applicants on June 11th, 2024 County Commission agenda as requested by County Clerk Donna Thomas.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The Veterans Report, and I knew he's going to resign, but Mike Roos has resigned, and that's good, Ben. We'll get to you in just a second. Let me go over it, and then I'll let you have the floor. First of all, the number of veterans that were transported to the VA hospitals was 52 last month, and the number of office visits were 87. Ben, would you like to introduce yourself? Mike has resigned, and he's been.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Ely. I grew up here in Shelbyville. I have a passion for helping fellow veterans. And when I learned Pam Robeson was retiring, I came in and took her job. So now that Mike has stepped out, I'm willing to do what it takes to continue to help veterans within this county.
Good. Anybody have any questions?
We're just glad you're here.
Yes.
I'd just like to say that Ben last year, I'm really glad to see he's got this position. We haven't a lot with Ben, like every stuff, and I know he's going to do a protocol.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Ely. Okay, is any other discussion here? Is there a motion to approve the Veterans Report?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the next item is Community Clinic Report. It was included. That's certainly for our information only. The medical report this last month, they saw 105 patients. And the dental report, the dentist saw 84 patients. So as I comment every month, they have provide a valuable service for our community. Is there any other discussions or questions? Yes.
They're actually, by the end of the fiscal year, they're probably going to see between dental and medical patients about 20, almost 3,000.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the input, and that shows you how valuable it is. They're taking care of a lot of people here in our community that need medical care and dental. Okay, any others? Okay, it's just for our information only, but they do provide a valuable service. The next one is Ag Center report. I think y'all met last month.
We did.
Commissioner Anderson?
Only thing really new was, I think I told y'all we were gonna talk it to Clover, Honey, and Heather Fry came, addressed the board, and we're talking about painting the paneling. And, the board voted to buy the paint, and they're gonna paint it. I think it'll make the place not look so 1970 dated, and it's gonna give it a nice look. So that was the big thing that we did, and of course, stuff continues to break all the time. The new tractor's working out great. That's working out really well for us, and, hopefully we get that painted, it'll get that look out, and then we're gonna do a little bit of work on the floors, and eventually I'm gonna try to get the guys to do something about the ceiling, so we're gonna work on that next.
Any questions for Commissioner Anderson? Ag Center? There being none, it's just for our own. The next one's old business, and I know I saw Commissioner Yockey. Yeah, she's behind the podium. Yeah, all right.
Well, we're at a point, Mr. Chairman, where I've typed it for you. I've put stuff where it needs to go from sections where it didn't belong, and I think all of us together have kind of updated the things that need to be updated. So I've just got 2 or 3 little things for you to look at, and then I'd like to turn it over to then y'all, I think it probably still needs to be studied a little bit and make sure that it's a big responsibility for me to say that I did these bylaws and y'all approve them. I really don't want to do that. So if you would be patient with me, and I think an answer to Anita's question last time, I think you asked me about old business. There's not old business, but it said other business. So I changed that on the top of page 2. And I had left out opening of the meeting, so I stuck it back in. Everything else I changed like y'all wanted me to.
On the very front, I had noted historic county courthouse, but I don't see that in there.
Help me back.
Very front, where it says Board of Commissioners Bylaw 1, Rule 1. I had a note jotted down that the mayor
Let's
wanted it to
see.
say.
He wanted it to say the historic, and I did not change that. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And when everything finally gets finished, Suzanne's going to take it and put page numbers and the revision dates on each page so that everybody will know where they are. The only thing, Mr. Chairman, look over to bylaw 3, rule 3. And Suzanne caught this one. The county clerk does actually do the compiling of the minutes, but it then goes to the mayor's office. So I deleted, that last sentence will be deleted. And then the 1 through 7 there, most of all that is obsolete, or it is covered under the media or the wherever and so forth. So just, that'll take at least all of that out of it. And the last thing I think I want you to just note is bylaw rule 6. And just so that when you all go back over these, I did change law enforcement to public safety whenever it's done. And if you will look over to right above bylaw 7, Roman numeral 7, right up at the top of the page, to make a note for whoever's going to take over on all this now. I took out the highway from the rules is where it was, but I did not put it into finance. I didn't put it anywhere. Since, and this is something you all can discuss, since Mark is a constitutional office holder, he is not required to report to these committees. Now, he does at the quarterly report. And so I think some of the things that Mr. Chairperson was addressing the other night is because he sits on the finance, that's where he can discuss it, and he's already there. But that's something you all can iron out and do. So somebody make a little note right there that the highway is in limbo, it's not on any of the committees. And I think everything else is pretty self-explanatory, so. Been fun, been real.
In one of Charlie Curtis's things, the last two things he had was to establish a procedure to accept or remove roads from the county system and establish a procedure to name or change the county roads. So that would have to go somewhere, but it's always come to rules. I don't
Let's
see a reason to
see.
change it. It's in the Charlie Curtis's.
Look on the section D of the very last by rule. On the last page, I've got him if we need to add something.
Okay, County Mayor?
No, I want you to stand here because I'm going to leave this place. I think there was, or when I was talking with Mark, there was a distinction, at least in our conversation in my office, that reporting to a committee and submitting something to the committee are two different things. So he's still obligated to submit certain things into the commission system to go to the commission for a vote. But as far as a straight reporting monthly to a particular
No.
committee was
know
not.
that.
So,
We knew
so I
that.
think that's where we got the verbiage a
That's
little.
not where we got confused. We just, he needs to tell us what he's doing. We don't
Right.
expect him to
So-
report
But
to us.
highway was
On- but highway was on the rules and
I understand, that's what I told you,
legislative.
just the other night.
So, but it's
It's
not,
not.
apparently it's not most
I
correct
zapped it, but I.
as the committee. So,
Right.
there you go. Yeah, however
He
y'all
doesn't
decide.
report to us if he has any problems. The road list has always been approved by us, and it still will be.
Yeah.
It comes to us because if there's any changes, it involves rules.
Okay. Commissioner Epperson, do you see that first sentence in section D in the very last rule?
Section D,
Turn all the way to the
the
back.
very last page. Yes,
Highway superintendent submits to all roads for approval. That's each year, like
right,
Biff
yes.
said. The highway superintendent is responsible for the naming of the roads, as well as the highway superintendent submits the name of a county road to be closed.
Yes.
And I guess we could add in there naming and changing the names, but 911 doesn't want to do that much anymore.
So that is staying with rules and legislative, correct? You said you took that out, or?
Probably, yeah, that motion to, he would submit that resolution or whatever to get that changed through one of the committees, yeah,
Yes.
true.
Agreed.
Love y'all a lot.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any other questions on the committee for Commissioner Yaki?
Nope.
Thank you. I know you spent a lot of time in.
Mr. Chairman, why don't we send this?
No, I got to look at it a little bit longer.
That's what I'm saying, send it out to everybody
Oh, sure, they need to
and
get
let
a copy.
everybody get a copy of
Absolutely.
this and then come back
Yes,
here
yes,
next
Absolutely.
month and we talk about it next month.
Agreed.
That's okay.
absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Ready to be sent to the commission, but it needs to be studied.
Yep.
All of us need to have a copy of it, and then we need to go through it with a fine tooth comb, and then we'll discuss and debate it back here, and then maybe another month. It's like Commissioner Yaki said, she's never been in a hurry, and we're not in a hurry. We need to make sure it's right. We need to double check everything, and then keep working on it. And bylaws are important.
Now, this started out, Mr. Chairman, there was no copy anywhere that we could start from. It was starting the whole thing all over again. And, you know, it's a lot of responsibility on my part to say to you all, I'm sorry. To say to y'all that this is what I want done when there could be a massive error somewhere that was unintentional.
Absolutely, but we followed the legislative process, and that's all we need to do.
Yeah.
And thank you, I appreciate the extra work you put in, and it's up to us to go through it thoroughly and to double check it, and any of the other commissioners. And then if you got anything to share at this meeting, it's open and it's transparent, and we'll discuss it here.
Would you think it'd be appropriate if the mayor sent out this draft to all the commission members for them to
It'd
take
be
a look
great
at it?
if they haven't already gotten it.
Okay, they've already got it, okay.
They might want a hard copy so we can sit down and
Yeah.
go through it. Okay, good. Because it takes a hard copy to cross through and mark and then to compare it to the other roads. Okay, what's the wishes of the committee? We've heard the report, I guess we'll just defer for a month and for
Yeah.
further study.
Bring it
until-
back
To all
here
the
next month, we'll
commissioners
talk
and
about it
come
again,
back.
and see if we can come to a conclusion then.
That's a proposal, a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, under new business, there was a resolution submitted, but there's no resolution needed. We do this as a committee. The rules will discuss and debate it, and the committee here will decide what to do with the matter. Now, it's a good proposal, but we'll just read it outside of the resolution. We need to discuss maybe designating an exclusive veterans parking place around the square. There's a number of veterans. How many did we say visited last?
83.
Yeah, it's 80-something. There's nearly 80 every month that comes up and visits. I don't know, I know that Mike Bruce was saying about moving out. We'll get with Ben Ely and see if he thinks there's a need, and I don't know. Of course, there's a lot of demand for spaces, and then I don't know how many of those spaces are the counties or the cities, and we've wrestled around with parking spaces around this courthouse for years. But that needs to be looked at and studied. I don't know if we need one or two. I don't know if the veterans have been a part of this or, whether he thinks there's a need for it or not. But we need to look into it. I think it needs to be studied and debated, and what anybody else has to say here, but we need to get some more feedback from anybody else, the veterans or anybody else that wants to comment and be a part of the legislative process, okay?
Yeah, I did have a question. Does Mr. Ely know, is that just for the veterans officers that are working? Is that for the veterans themselves?
That parking spot, it would be for the veterans.
Come up.
Yeah.
No, ma'am, that parking space would not be for the VSOs or employees. It would be for the veterans coming in to see us.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And so are
think
you
one
looking,
space will do? I'm sure you.
yeah, are you
do.
looking, how many spaces are you looking at? And are you looking, I'm assuming probably you would want it close to the ramp because some of those are handicapped, and I think that would be, we'll
It'd
go.
be on that side of the courthouse, you suppose, the east side?
On the east side would be my suggestion. I've talked a little bit about this today. I'm going to get the Veterans Council involved in it so they can make recommendations as well
Okay.
as to where and how many specifically.
Be good.
Well, this is Memorial Day coming up in the next few weeks. We want to thank our veterans for
Absolutely.
everything they have done. I think this is a very small gesture to say thank you, but it is something that we want to say thank you to. And I think that if you can come up with a recommendation on how you want to do it and let us know, then we'll be glad to work around your recommendation, work with the mayor, work with the highway department, find everybody to make this available to the veterans as a small gesture of appreciation from the county commission and the mayor's office. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, the only question I also have here would be, of course, I'm a stickler about the committees. I'd like to see us use them right. And of course, obviously, veterans comes here. But I also think the courthouse and property committee, since this is courthouse and property, should also have a say and look, just because that is where this is. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but kind of a joint deal between us or whatever. But I definitely want to know what they think about, because it is courthouse and property. So that's what I'm getting at. Although I do see the veterans part of it.
Right.
I do think the courthouse and property committee should be involved as well.
Well, they're here,
Uh-huh.
and so if they want to discuss it, they're welcome to, and Ben can report to them as well. So that'll be fine.
So we just need to make a motion to defer this maybe till the next, for 30 days,
Yes, we're
next
gonna
meeting.
wait till, Mr. Ely will come back and report
Right,
to
I
us from
think
the
we're fine.
veterans.
Sure. Seconds.
Okay, so it's been deferred. Any other question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the next is, under new business is the 7th district seat. It's been vacated. I've got a letter here. I'm not gonna read all of it from, Commissioner Sanders. Mr. Farrer, as you know from my previous letter, I will be resigning as County Commissioner, District 7, effective June the 7th, 2024, due to moving. Doesn't say here, but she's moving to Pensacola, Florida. And then she had a recommendation. I would like to recommend Keith Davis from District 7 to serve after I resign. He says he's been a lifelong resident of Bedford County. He's been active in the local police council. Also been a member of the Republican Party and active in the Lions Club. He's a small business owner. And we have some others. Now, is he here? Is Keith here today? Yeah. Oh, good, Keith. I'll just open it up. I'm sure you got something to add to it, and we'll start with you and then go to the others. I know it's 2 or 3 others that are interested in the seat, and we'll give everyone due respect. So if you don't mind coming, and you can tell us who you are and how you're qualified and why you want to serve on the county commission.
Qualifications, huh? I don't know about the qualifications.
Well, it's okay. Just whatever.
My
you want to
name is
say.
Keith Davis. I am from Shelbyville. Somebody get rid of that cicada. I have, it is cheering me on. A lot of familiar faces. I know a lot of you guys and had Mr. Fair actually in school and a lot of old high school people. And I want to thank you for the opportunity of this and thank Julie. I've been a barber for over 30 years in town. I am a avid member, director, producer, theater, designer. If any of you guys ever been to The Fly, if you're not, shame on you. You need to come. We enjoy it. We'd love to have you. Been very active in it. Like I said, I have been in the Lions Club for about 5 years. I've been dabbling and watching you guys in the city and Everett County for the last maybe 5, 6 years, wanting to get some way, an opportunity to get involved. I love my community. I love the growth of my community. I love what you guys do, and I love my city. And this opportunity with Julie opened up, and I hope that it works out. I'd love to help serve with y'all. And if you got any questions now or later, I'd love to fill you in if I could help with anything else.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Davis?
Are you a registered voter?
I am. Yes, I am registered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's step one.
I am a registered Republican. Absolutely. Yes, I am.
I'd like to make a comment, he's also one of our Bedford County bus drivers.
Yes, I am a county employee, yes.
Early in the morning.
Yes, and that's one thing, I came the other night, and, and what a night to come, right? But I really appreciated the emphasis on schools. And I know Commissioner Fair would do the same thing with the school system, and we need it. I'm so thankful that it's happening, and I see the school, and I see the way it's growing. I see these kids, I house about 150 a day and haul them. And, yeah, really, right? And God love them. But, I see in the deplorable conditions of these, some of the buildings that they've been in, and they needed so addition. I thank you guys for everything you've done, everything you do for the county and the city. Anything else besides Ms. Sylvia?
Okay. Being done, thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
Your name will be on the list. Yeah, I think I have 2 others, and I'll just go alphabetical. I think Ludeman, yes, sir. You ready to speak? Yes. Okay, you're welcome to come up and to introduce yourself. No, it's fine. It's a small room, and
Yeah.
we're all local people.
Well, before I get started, if anybody lost a roll of $20 bills and a rubber band, I found the rubber band. So. Terrible joke. All right, cool. Good start. Well, my name is James Ludeman. I live at 207 Eventide Drive in District 7. Big fan of Shelbyville now. You're welcome. I've lived here since 2022. I was a renter here, so I'm still fairly new, fairly learning this place. In District 7, we just bought our first home. Me and my wife worked really hard for that. And my wife got a job in Nashville. That's what brought us here. She was there 3 days and went back to her old company. Now works from home. It was crazy. But because of that, we fell in love with this city. and we haven't left. I'm about to turn 36 on Sunday, and that's humility for me because I look at this opportunity to say, while there is some tension in our community, and there is, I still believe the best days are ahead. I believe that my beliefs and my passion for this city and for this community and for the people that I live near and next to make me an ideal person for this chair and for this open seat. I would like to formally announce my intention of being considered for the seat. Now, the reason for this, honestly, is really simple. I have a daughter who's 13. If you have a 13-year-old daughter, bless you, because I'm dealing with that now. My son is 7, getting ready to take the field here in about 40 minutes over at the rec center, and they're my motivation. We had 2 other kids, Stephen and Adam, who unfortunately are not with us today. They took that journey to heaven, and they're all the reason that I try to be a servant leader. I believe this community is the best place for them to live, to work, to serve others. I think serving others is the bottom line reason for me being here tonight instead of getting ready and pitching to a bunch of kids, getting them warmed up for a baseball game. I want to do this because I want to show them that there's nothing more important in life than to serve other people and to love God. Becoming a part of this is a way to do that. Now, my experience as a politician, I'm going to be honest, is limited. But my experience and my leadership is not. I have been a youth pastor, I've been a worship leader, and I've been a regular senior adult pastor, if you would call it that. Some call it a lead pastor. But I really believe we're not called to live life alone. We need each other. And that's important to me. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I'm the best candidate and all this other stuff. I'm not probably going to tell you all the right things that you want to hear today. But I want to say simply that I feel that I'm qualified. Now, when you say qualified, that's a lot to say, right? Being qualified doesn't mean perfection. I think we all can agree with that. But I've learned a lot. Watching my family fall apart to drugs and alcohol, watching all 3 of my younger brothers taken from me right in front of my eyes, watching a SWAT team come in and arrest my mom right in front of me. Been through a lot in almost 36 years. But through all the loss, I've gained more than that. I've gained the ability to be compassionate with people that are struggling, trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills because of taxes that are crippling them. I've gained the ability to be there and listen to people who are frustrated because their voices are not heard. And I've gained the ability to serve others because of my experience in the church. I've prayed with broken people, I've laughed with the homeless, and I've been there for people who have experienced unfathomable loss in their life, including mine. And I want to ask all of you a question while I have just a moment. What is your why? Why are you a part of this? Why were you voted for? When you know your why, your purpose becomes more impactful. My purpose tonight is to not only introduce myself to you all, share my heart just for a couple seconds. It probably sounds like a sermon. Sorry, that's just what I'm used to. But to hopefully become a small part of a bigger story for me. I believe with all my heart that I can serve this community as a member of this team. The story of Shelbyville is filled with a rich and wonderful history. The more I've gone to things, the more I've learned things, the more horse shows that you go to, you tend to pick up a lot of stuff. And I know that there's going to be other names brought before this committee. I know people with more experience, people who have been in this community for a long, long time, but I do believe that with the experience that I have on a person-to-person level, I'm confident that I can be a vital part of the group and maybe even bring an outside perspective to an established group of commissioners. So I'd ask you to humbly consider my name. And I do appreciate the time. I do appreciate being able to stand here humbly today. And I do want to thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody have any questions by chance? Thank you, sir. The next one is, I know Mr. Nairn is
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity to talk. I know most of you have been around here for quite a while. I'm here seeking this position because I care about this county. I've been here for the last 26 years. I grew up in West Tennessee. But since the day I got here, I've been serving somebody somewhere. I came to see if I could be a pastor. I'm not sure that I've passed that test yet or not, and I am retiring next month, so that part of my life will be changing. But I love helping people. I've served in many different capacities the whole time I've been there. I've been working for somebody somewhere, helping somebody get along, figure out, and work things out in their life. But the main reason for asking for this position, for this opportunity, is simply selfish. I have 3 grandsons. I've run for public office and hadn't been good enough to get elected yet, so maybe I could sneak in this way, I'm not sure. But I'm not giving up, because this is my home. This is where I will die, and this is where Fieldhouse will find me on the end of Idle Drive one of these days, and it'll all be finished up. But I have a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 13-year-old that needs to work here. And my son works in Franklin and drives back and forth because I convince him that this is still the best place to live. I really would like to continue to help our county grow, improve, and do right. And this is a personal opinion. Maybe nobody would share. I think most of you would. That's why you serve. There's only a few bad people in the world. None of them live in Bedford County. This is a community full of really good people. Even though many of you are passionate about things that are different, you're also doing it because you really care in family, community, and Bedford County. So if you'll give me the opportunity to serve, there's one thing I can promise, and all of you know this that know me. If I start to help you, if I start to work on something, I'll die to finish it. I will not be disloyal to things that I say, do, or believe in. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let's see, anyone have any questions for Mr. Darren? Chance? Okay, thank you, sir. Your name will certainly be considered. Any others that I haven't maybe gotten a list? We certainly want to thank Commissioner Sanders. She served 10 years. I think she's been on the courthouse and property all the time. And I guess the last 3 or 4, you served as chairperson as courthouse and property. It's a little added responsibility, chairing any standing committee. But we want to thank you sincerely. We thanked you at the county commission meeting. We wish you the best in Pensacola, Florida. And when you get homesick, you can always come back to Bedford County. Okay, any other comments, or we ready for announcements? Any announcements? We've got look like we have 3 candidates for the other. Okay, yes, sir.
With the community planning and school, we have to have a school physical. And the clinic, community clinic will be offering that. But parents will have to go to the public health immunization shot, say that word, and then come to the clinic.
Okay, good. That's a valuable service because they're pretty expensive, some of them are.
Yes.
Okay, County Mayor.
Next Tuesday is Finance Committee. Going to recess after that committee till 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is when budget review. We announced it at the commission, but I want to make sure, again, everybody knows it. And we'll have your books ready. I mean, the intent is the books and everything will be ready for you. Go through those, point out the highlights that you asked. And of course, you'll have plenty of time to study it because then it will be the special call meeting in June that you would then, just so it should give you plenty of time to take the book, review it, come back to the committee or whatever you want to do to ask more questions. But we'll recess if we finish before 5 so that we're back at 5 for that. And that's a week from today, Tuesday, regular meeting night, but special call time for budget review.
Yes, sir. Any questions? Everybody clear? Okay. Commissioner Maddox? Yes.
As it pertains to the agenda, how are things placed on the agenda? If I could just pose that question.
It comes through the rules. We place them on there. And then, of course, the other standing committees do it as well. Through standing committees, yes, sir.
Now may not be the time, but I wanted to just take the opportunity to say that I know that a lot of folks were displeased with how the last commission meeting occurred, how it happened. Just wondering if you had any words as it pertains to that particular meeting, and how could we possibly remedy that type of a situation from occurring again? I personally believe that we should utilize our bylaws as it pertains to the standing committees. The last thing I'll say in closing, it says items, and this is in our bylaws, items to be included on the agenda shall be submitted to the Rules and Legislative Committee. If the items require consideration for study, the Rules and Legislative Committee shall refer the item to the appropriate committee. My concern is that the agenda was given to us, and we went into the meeting last Tuesday, but I'm not sure that you all knew that those items, that we were going to be addressing those particular items in that agenda. Is that?
We knew about them because they were in the resolution.
Right.
We got the resolution and everything else. As I expressed in the county commission meeting, we had several other standing committees in there that I don't think had any input to that resolution. And as I stated then, I'll state now, in my opinion, it's wrong to legislate that. Was anything illegal about what they did? No. Resolutions are perfectly legal. It's just not following the legislative processes, is what you're sort of commenting on here.
Yes, sir.
Again, it's what I commented on there, and hopefully we'll start following the legislative processes.
Okay.
And it's more transparent, it's more open, and it's here, or in any other standing committees. There were 2 or 3 that should have gone to courthouse and property, and they should have been discussed and debated. And certainly, concerning the juvenile detention center being $6 million, it was the highest item on the agenda. I don't think it was properly vetted in courthouse and property, and they may be able to do something yet about it. I mean, I know the resolution's passed. I know it's been earmarked $6 million, but it goes back to courthouse and property. You can scrutinize some of that perhaps. I mean, it'd be up to y'all to do that. And then the same thing with law enforcement. They want to do things on there that should have gone through law enforcement, and the same thing with the highway department. I know certainly one should have come back to us, and we can debate it, just put it on there. It's not that it has to report to us. We put it on the agenda. It doesn't need to be used through a resolution. Now, the school's fine. It's been discussed and debated for months.
Yes.
Plus, it comes out of the school board, and there's no problem there. But there were two or three others that, as I've already stated, I think the standing committee should be involved.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate you taking a stand last Tuesday night. Again, I appreciate you and the committee. I just ask that we follow those bylaws to a T. That would be
Well,
my-
hopefully we can. The thing about resolutions, it tends to somewhat circumvent the standing committees. There's not a chance for the standing committee members and the other commission people to be involved, to have feedback, discuss and debate. The people in courthouse property didn't have that. People in law enforcement didn't have that. It wasn't presented to them. We didn't have it. Not that we're going to discuss and debate the matters with the highway department. It's just a formality. But it should have gone through standing committees, which you're emphasizing, and I hadn't planned on bringing it up. But since you asked me, I've expressed what I thought should have happened as well.
Thank you for the time, Mr. Chairman.
Move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Any announcements? Is that all announcements? Okay, we are adjourned.